Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with this channel or are watching this channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because on this platform we discuss everyday issues and we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So, for that reason, it is called uncommon sense. I just want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And I can see we got a lot of chatter in, in the chat. So, let me just go reading one by one. Okay, and a lot of the chatter has to do with um, Denise and Hazel. And I'm going to read you the first statement. Well, after seeing Radical Streams, I got to say that Hazel and I made more sense than certain dudes over there. I agree. And then Hazel said, I will be cloud watching this one. Radical Latinos live took all the energy out of me. These type of talk energy suckers. And then she said, today we saw on Radical Latinos channel some of the most emotionally unstable, ignorant, and degenerate energy sucking people. I'm still very upset with the disrespect Denise had to endure. Pure trash. And then she said, Denise, I agree. I'm still trying to calm down from what I saw. I was trying to calm up when you would give me back up. I wasn't, but let me on time. I was lived with a nasty attitude towards you. And then Denise said, thanks, Dow. I know it's just a sample of what unfortunately we have outside in the world. I love how you handled it too, though. It was glorious to see it, and I also had to get off the combo. And then Denise said, things are getting degraded to almost talking and insult because people can't defend their arguments and proceed with disrespecting others. That's when you know when you're proven wrong. The dude was getting openly emotional because he's not who he claims to be, and I left eye on it. And then Hazel says, Denise, I totally agree with you. The first time I interacted with him, I checked him out. And he cursed me out, but I clapped back. His Spanish is not very good. And then she says, his Spanish is off for someone who claims to have lived in Puerto Rico since as a child and went to school there. I do not believe Nakisi is at all. He is anti-Latino, and I don't believe him. And then we have Denise saying he is highly emotional and disturbed individual, but is insane. He thinks he can tell when he's lying. And of course, we have the angry biracial in the chat. Good evening, sir. Um, to be perfectly honest, I never saw this much chatter at the beginning. but but before I go on, I just want to give a huge shout out to all those who have subscribed to my channel. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into their devices on a regular basis. I also wish to give a huge shout out to all those who follow my content. And I'm going to ask that if you have not done so, uh, please subscribe, like, hit the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to either catch it live or catch it on the playback. Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to drop the link. But before I do that, I have to discuss regarding the live stream that Rad had earlier today. And the topic was regarding American Cholo and Tariq. Um, now, many people believe, and I happen to believe it too, that Tariq Rashid is racist and that he has said anti-Latino rhetoric before. The funny thing is, when confronted, all of a sudden, he's not so hostile towards Latinos. And my thing is this: if you're going to espouse an opinion, stand by that opinion, okay? Yes, and Hazel, yes. And because look, if you have the backtrack a statement or a belief when confronted on it, that just shows you how weak and pathetic you are. Now, the topic for tonight's stream: who is more logical, male or females? Now, before we get into the topic, what we're going to do is we're going to have, just give me a moment. Okay. Unfortunately, we're having some technical. Okay. Just give me a moment. Okay. Well, let me just share with you who is the recipient of tonight's What the Heck It is the one, the only Naknisi. Now you're probably wondering, why is he the recipient? I apologize. Hello? Can anyone hear me? Okay. Okay. Now, the reason why Naknisi is the recipient of the What the Heck This Is reward. I mean, if you were to see Rad's stream, I mean, first of all, he was stating his point of view, how how that may. Okay, thank you. Well, that there are more Latinos that are racist than than African Americans. First of all, there are good and bad in every group, but you saw, everyone that saw the stream saw the interaction between Naknisi and Denise. And Denise was calling him out regarding some inaccuracies regarding what he was saying. Unfortunately, he could not deal with the scrutiny. And then actually have the nerve to call Denise, among other things, a Norwegian. Folks, Denise was born and raised in Puerto Rico. And that's not even bad enough. He's trying to point out that he knows about Puerto Rico more than Denise. Denise has spent the first 25 years of her life there. Okay? And it just continued to deteriorate. Okay? And in all fairness, during the interchange between Denise and Naknisi, Denise, hands down, was way more mature. And then, when Hazel got into discussion, I mean, she clearly articulated her situation, how she had some negative experiences from members of the African American community. And I have to admit, both Denise and Hazel conducted themselves with a lot of maturity and with a lot of logic. And I see we have K-Fit in the chat. Good evening, K-Fit. As always, it is a pleasure to see you. And we have, wow, we actually have the Hamidi Pill. Me alegro verte en el chat. Se hace mucho tiempo que no han visto y la verdad han extrañado muchísimo. La verdad que eso, la poca oportunidad que tenía, para ver su plataforma, demostrando que tú eres una señorita con mucha educación y madurez. And for the benefit of those who doesn't speak Spanish, I just said to the harmony feel that she conducted herself as a young lady with a great deal of maturity. Okay. And it's good. And I see. Okay. But now, that being said, what we're going to do is, excuse me, just give me. Okay, just give me a moment. Now we're going to get into the main topic. Okay. So the main topic for tonight is the following. Who are more logical, males or females? Now the reason we are having this discussion because we have heard almost from the beginning of time that when it comes to being logic, men are more logical, women are more emotional. And Hazel said, with Denise's strong accent, it's funny to see that Denise claimed that she does not speak or know Spanish. I had to let her know that she is from the Bronx. Okay. You know what? Oh, Hazel, I swear. I mean, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for you and Denise, it would have been a crap show. I think the ladies actually did make the stream interesting. And actually, what you two ladies did is gave a good strong argument regarding who is more logical. Now, as I was saying before, in the past, it is believed that men are more logical and women are more emotional. Okay, and I would say for a good portion of history, for many people, that's been the belief. Now, if you take a look at social media, uh, you're going to see examples where that's not the case. Okay, we have seen in many. Oh, wait a minute. We also have the presence of the one and only Golden Goddess. Good evening. It's good to see you in the chat. Thank you very much for stopping by. Okay, and okay. To be perfectly honest, if I didn't see the avatar, I didn't think it would be you. But you know what? You look lovely nevertheless. Okay. Now we have seen many examples in social media where men, okay, maybe certain men who are millennials acted very emotional and childish. And we have seen where the young ladies have acted with a great deal of intelligence. Okay. And if you want to give a perfect example regarding all this, just take a look at Radical Stream this afternoon. Now, what I did was I put the link to the chat. If anyone wishes to join the panel, they're more than welcome to do so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share an article that I came across Northwestern Medicine. Okay. And the article is called The Battle of the Brain, Men versus Women Infographic. Okay. When it comes to the brain, just how different are men and women? You might have heard that men's brains are larger. It turns out there are additional differences in gray matter and brain patterns as well. You see it all that it means for you and your health. Although the male brain is 10% larger than the female brain, it does not impact intelligence. I think we kind of saw a perfect example of that um, this afternoon stream with the radical Latino regarding magnesium. Despite the size difference, men and women brains are more alike than they are different. One area that they do differ is the inferior parietal lobe, which tends to be larger in men. This part of the brain is linked to mathematical problems, estimating time and judging speed. Another area that's previously debated is the hippocampus, which is associated with memory, but recent studies have found no difference between the hippocampus between genders. I just want to acknowledge the fact that there are currently 4 people uh, watching this stream. And of course, I would appreciate if anyone wished to do so, is to please join the panel. Now, here's something that's going to be interesting. There's evidence that women have more gray matter in their brains. Again, if you base solely what happened this afternoon, I would have to agree. Gray matter contains cell bodies that help our bodies process information in the brain and is located in the regions of the brain that are involved with muscle control and sensory perception. Bad news for expecting moms. Uh, I don't know what that means by that. um, let's see. Gray matter decreases during pregnancy, which helps explain the pregnancy brain. That said, women have been found to use more white matter, which connects to processing centers, while men use more gray matter. This could explain why men tend to excel in task-focused projects, while women are more likely to excel at language and multitasking. In studies examining connections with the brain, it is found that women tend to have stronger connection side to side, which can lead to better intuitive thinking, analyzing, and drawing conclusions. Men, on the other hand, tend to have stronger connections from front and back. Yes, yes, Gigi. Naknisi was acting his usual self. I would suggest that you catch Raj stream when you have the opportunity, and then you can make your own assessment, which can result in heightened perception and stronger motor skills. Recent studies also suggested that the cerebellum, historically thought only to be involved with the coordination of movement, may be slightly different between the sexes and actually have an effect in behavior and thinking as well. In addition to brain processing patterns, men and women have different brain chemistry. While both process the same neurochemicals, they process them differently. For example, okay, now if I mispronounce any of these names, please forgive me. Yes, Gordon, Gigi, I think you should watch it when you have a chance. You will see it for your own self. Okay, which is connected to happiness and depression does not process the same way in women. This could help explain why women are more susceptible to anxiety and depression. Differences in genetic makeup may lead to a higher risk of developing certain health issues. Although this is continuing field of research, some correlation may exist between hormones such as testosterone or estrogen and particularly health conditions. Depression, stress, and anxiety, all which are more uncommon in women, are other factors which can lead to additional health concerns such as stroke. See what this means for your health in the, okay, I'm not, it's just a graph. And of course we have some more interaction. Yes, it's good. And you know what? I'm glad to see the ladies out here in the chat. Now, just to let you ladies know, um, during this season, I'm going to try to bring about different topics that might be interest to you, ladies. So I would appreciate it if you have any topics that you want me to discuss. Those of you who follow me in Instagram, please hit me up at cute1ny. Um, Now, in Gigi, in your case, what you can do is you can shoot me an email at negronjose62 at yahoo.com if you have any suggestions for topics for me to discuss regarding the ladies. Because I am this in this season, uh, I'm going to try my best to try to bring about topics that's pertinent to you. And I see Gigi says, I need to create a business IG. Okay, you know what? You can do that. Otherwise, you can reach out through my email at negronjose at 62.com. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you another article. And hopefully, after the end of the article, we will get some people to join the panel. Okay. Now, this is an article that I came across Silence Daily. Yes, I see SDG. I know you have one, and I know you don't have to explain to me the why no one can gain access to your IG account. Okay. Okay. And of course, we have Denise entering his comment. He is dumb as hell. He embarrassed himself because everyone knows I am from my native language, that and my native language is Spanish. But the funny thing, people like that believe he owns his own lies. And K-Fit says, I hate missing your streams. I'm like, then she was live. Oh, okay. Well, okay, you know what? You can always catch it on the playback. I'm gonna put in the link again. And again, I if anyone wants to after I put the link, again, if anyone wants to join the panel, by all means do so. And I really would appreciate it, particularly the ladies joining. I have nothing against the men, okay? But in all fairness, I want to give the ladies an opportunity to express their point of view. One of the things that I've noticed in the previous season, um, okay, and then Gigi says, I don't have that much time or passion as lately. I'm in break mode. Okay. And then he says, it's crazy how he tried to Latin explain me on Latin culture. And then Kaper says, I'm doing Zumba this Saturday a.m. I'm going to work out. And okay. Thank you. So the link, okay, the link is there. I'm going to ask if anyone wishes, don't be shy. I am not going to bite you. And I really want the ladies to chime in because, I want to make sure. And of course, then he's saying, hi, Gigi, how you doing, sweetie? Now, until someone pops in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read another article. Just give me a moment so I can. Unfortunately, I have not learned how to pin the link, so I don't have to keep doing it all the time. Now, this is an article that came across. Thank you, daughter. You know what? I thank you because, Denise, you was the inspiration for me to have my own channel. Okay. And, okay. Yes, I agree. Let me just continue. Now the date. Now the date. Yes, thank you, Kfit. Now this article in Science Daily was dated March the 29th of 2021. Okay, and I'm going to read the following. How different are men's and women's brains? Congratulations, K for reaching 50 subs. Okay, that's wonderful. And again, ladies, by all means, join me in the panel. I'm lonely. The question has been explored for decades by the new study led by Rosalind Franklin, University neurologist Lise Elliott is the first to coalesce this wide-ranging research into a single mega synthesis, and the answer is hardly at all. And we have a comment. Uh, Women are the best. Well, if magnesium is a representation of what guys are, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. Okay, but again, ladies, by all means, join me on the panel. Don't be shy. Okay. Okay. Now, men and women brains do differ slightly, but the key finding is that these distinctions are due to brain size, not sex or gender. Dr. Elliott said. Sex differences in the brain are tiny and inconsistent once individuals' head size is accounted for. The unusual law study of studies dumped the dimorphism. Comprehensive synthesis of human brain studies reveal few male-female differences beyond size, published in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews. And we have Hazel. Okay, I have a guest. The views of the guests to appear on the channel are not necessarily the views of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy them to without the consent of the host hosting on the channel, uncommon sense hosting is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to the image of the channel. Some of the views we guests may be held may consider offensive to some views. Those who appear under the influence of alcohol and drugs will be removed from the panel and forever banned from uncommon sense. The host requests that no humorous comments be made regarding the internet service affecting me. If you do not like the contact, you can block the channel. And now we're going to bring in our first guest.
Hi, Tio Jose.
Okay.
Hi.
Let's try this again. Okay. Oops. Okay, let's try this again.
Hello.
Good evening, Hazel.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Good evening.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Okay, fine. You know what? I'm so happy to see you tonight because what I want to do in this particular season, I want to prepare, give material that women can relate to.
Okay. I'm
Because,
driving. I don't know if you're going to hear me well, but I am driving.
okay, I can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to dedicate my time up here to Denise. She was very poised today in a situation that is understandable if she was not.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If she would have, if she was Nuyorican, the Nuyorican would have shown itself. I tried to back her up today, but Radical put me on at the last minute and tried to drop off everybody that was on there. I was trying to back her up because I am the original New Yorican over here in this Latin space here.
Yes.
The woman, the female one. And I've been went toe to toe with that guy. And that's one thing he could not bring me down. Now, Denise, she is an angel because she did not debunk him that she wasn't born and raised in Puerto Rico. She did not debunk that she does not speak. She said that she didn't speak Spanish at all. And I'm not with that in English accent. She doesn't speak Spanish at all. That's a lie. And she's over here. She was, oh my gosh, that woman. These are the type of women that you have to be careful of because they don't have to fight with you. You see, I'm a whole different type of Latina, right? I will clap back quick. She will let you think whatever it is, but it's her behavior that'll let you know that, oh, I fucked up. Excuse my language. I messed up. She's the type to not be nice to you with her actions. She will give you the silent treatment. I can see this. She'll let you think whatever you want, and then she's gonna show you. That guy was extremely disrespectful, very illogical person, trying to tell someone who was born and raised in Puerto Rico what her culture is. Solely because he lived there. So he says he lived there. I don't know who he is. I don't know. All I know is that guy is very anti-Latino. He likes to tell radical Latino to stay out of African American business, but his ass always finds himself in that guy's live chat. Which in my opinion, I wouldn't let people like him or Tariq Nasheed, none of them, onto my platforms. They have their own space, they have their own ideals, they have their own attitudes, and they need to stay with their people over there. Because when they come over here, they're very disrespectful. Now, Radical wants some type of unity or whatever. Okay, that's great. But you know what? The people who don't have respect are the ones that are showing up to your platform and disrespecting you. Thank you, Denise. She pops up.
How are you, Hazel?
Okay. Well, first
I'm here calling from the Bronx, my hometown.
Yes, and she's from the Bronx too.
Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge that Maki's in the chat, and let me tell you, you two ladies, you made me proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jose.
Because I wasn't going to be nice. I was not going to be nice.
That's why I said you took the cake today for that debate.
You did too.
Oh my God. I was like, oh,
I'm a nasty one. I'm nasty. He really wouldn't be. He really would have been saying la gran puta, oh my gosh, la gran puta esta.
Oh.
He would have been saying that you a nasty little blah 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 blah. You masculine. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's insane. That is insane.
And you the morena, you the morenita, you the black girl in the Puerto Rican culture. Are you serious?
And you see, and this is my thing. This is my thing when it comes to this stuff. If you asked people like this individual, right, to prove to you his FBA status, that would be considered disrespectful.
Yeah, wouldn't he be considered a traitor?
But then he can easily come at us, Latin people, and tell us that we got to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
That we got to prove our heritage. We got to prove our homeland. We got to prove our language. You see the irony on this?
Yeah.
And then it's like, and it's like I said, I don't speak Spanish on demand. I speak Spanish when I want to.
Right.
I didn't ask him for his birth certificate. I have my theories, to be honest with you, on where he's from. But I won't share them publicly because, of course, I have no proof of that. But by the story that he told, I just asked him a few questions and he became unhinged.
Yes.
you know, because I really asked him, how long did you live there? I'm not gonna tell you how long I lived there. I'm like, look,
Right.
I have friends from Loiza. Like, I've never heard anyone said that specifically, even in that town where the black roots are it's something sacred over there. He doesn't know what Loiza stands
Right.
for. It's the
Right.
first land that black people were able to own in PR, and it's preserved. So it's very rare to me that he experienced, out of all of PR, he experienced racism there. If he would have said, "Oh, I was in Rincon and people asked me that," I understand that because that's a gringo population, white gringo population. It's
Right.
prevalent in Rincon. But I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
he's emotional, and it goes to the point that Jose Stream it's talking about. Men are supposed to be the logical beings. They're designed for that. But
Right.
unfortunately, we're coming into a generation of feminine males that are reactive, confrontational, toxic,
And they're
and
not listening to understand. They're
no,
listening
to
to
respond.
react.
Yeah, to
Yeah, to
respond.
respond. And they're not understanding because in the chat, a lot of them were saying, "Oh, Puerto Ricans have not contributed to this country." And I said, "You need to look
Oh
up
wow!
who is Lieutenant Augusto Rodriguez.
Not only that, the
Look who
budding
that person
queeners.
is."
Look
You
at
know
the
what they
budding
said?
Okay.
queeners. What they said.
You,
Okay.
oh,
I'm
is he
curious.
but he was considered to be he was considered Spaniard. That was, they removed the goalpost. Now he's considered who told you that?
You see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. You see that these people, this is the
Yeah.
problem that I refuse to brush this upon the whole ADOS community, because we know
Yeah.
that, I mean, I've received a lot of love from them too. And
Right. That's
Okay.
true.
it's
Oh, the
unfortunately
18th letter. The 18th letter. I'm
oh,
sorry.
Rakim is here. What's up, Rakim?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing
Hi.
today? Hey, how you
Okay.
doing
Hi.
today, Hazel? Shout out to my YouTube dad, Jose Negron, and to my sister, Denise Gonzalez.
What's
Yeah.
up? What's up?
Actually, the topic for tonight is who is more logical, males or females. Now, okay. Now it is believed. Grant you, it is believed men are more logical, women are more emotional. However, we have seen situations where men, and I'm going to keep it 1,000, men have acted more emotional than logical, and women have acted more logical. So, what's your take on the topic?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say shout out to Golden Goddess Gigi in the chat. Shout out to K Fit out there in the chat. Shout out to y'all, man. Um, Shout out to Marquise too.
Yes.
Uh,
Good evening, Marquise.
well, my thing is, I don't really necessarily pinpoint to YouTube to find a lot of logical men. You do have logical men on YouTube. You have some
Hmm.
intelligent men on YouTube, but you do have a lot of immature people that like to sling mud. I mean, if you really want to be technical, who runs the business world? Mostly is men. You've never really seen uh, business really be dominated by women. And I'm not saying that to say anything negative. I'm just saying mostly men, when it comes to our emotions, we're able to set those aside to do business. We're able to set that. Even you cannot like somebody and still do business with a person. You know,
Well, let's keep it in context. Women were not allowed to have businesses. That is not something. We don't have business not because we're not logical. We didn't have business because we didn't have rights to have businesses.
well, I will say you do make a point, Hazel, but there's nothing that's stopping women now. And like usually and like not only that, but just the thought process of a man is that we have to get certain things done, and you taught to not let your emotions get in the way of that. You know, you have to get things built. You have to make sure things are taken care of. You got to make sure that you're financially secure and make sure that your family is well taken care of. So you're not allowed to your emotions to get in the way of that. Only thing that goes out the window with that is when it comes to respect. I don't think a man is not going to allow himself to be disrespected by another man without it being checked if he was taught properly. But other than that, I think you do. Some women are definitely logical. They definitely able to, make good decisions. But you have a lot of women that lead with their emotions, and we all know thinking emotionally, you can make the wrong decision at the wrong time that could effectively cost you in the future. I think
Right.
at a young age, men are told to accept accountability. Um, for instance, I was taught by my granddad, even though it's something that I didn't agree with at the time, but my grandfather was from the South in Mississippi, and I was very afraid of him as a child because he was deep voice, very disciplined when it comes to children, and he used to make me do a lot of things that I didn't really want to do. And he told me at a young age, let me tell you something, young boy, you gonna grow up to be a young black man, and guess what? Ain't nobody gonna care. So you need to do exactly what you need to do to make sure that you're taken care of, make sure that you providing properly, and make sure that you got all of your business in order. And that's something that I fully understand now.
Yeah. But you know something, I'm gonna be speaking. Okay, I'm gonna be speaking about Denise and myself. Okay, first of all, what's unique about our relationship is we have disagreed multiple times. The difference is our disagreements never led to anything being emotional or personal. Denise will state a point of view. Okay, and I think we just lost the 18th letter. Um, and now what we'll do is I will state why I disagree, but I will state it with facts. And Denise will do the same thing. Because we're two individuals, we are strongly opinionated. However, we can think logically. Denise, would you like to say anything about that?
Yeah, I mean that's the never ending tale of the internet, you know. It's something that I've applied. This is how I am in real life, you know. I don't do this whole let me prove to you who I am, and let me just yell at you so I can I we're people need to understand. I think 2020 was the last year that a group of people decided to educate you, and I'm talking specifically about ADOS. I think people should have gotten the hint because everyone shared that sentiment. We're not supposed to come here to.
Wait, can you repeat that, honey? I'm so sorry. I didn't hear the. Could you go back and repeat the sentence?
Yeah, I think 2020 was the last year when a group of people decided to educate like the masses.
Uh-huh.
The ADOS. That was the last year that a group of people say, hey, let's just tell people our plight, what we're going through. Latinos stopped doing that, especially Puerto Ricans. We stopped doing that a while ago.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, no one's ever going to understand what we go through because our situation is very unique. The only people that can relate is the people of Guam. The
Right.
160,000 Guamese are going to understand exactly the Puerto Ricans. I've never had any issue with people from Guam because they understand our situation. It's very unique. It's the same thing I said with ADOS. Their situation is unique. No one's going to understand it.
Right.
So when we have this type of individuals that comment in the internet, and it's not exclusive to me, of course, but I'm talking about just my experience, but anyone that has had this YouTube disagreements with people will share my same sentiment. When you have this exchanges with people and you nail it on the head, our society lacks the ability in large numbers of being humble enough to admit I was wrong, that they'll rather insult you personally. I don't care. I mean, I've been insulted in many ways and I never react to that because to me, words have no power. But at the same time, we're seeing this be predominantly now in males. We're even seeing it on our streets when you have this feminine male, and I'm not talking about all males, of course, but we're seeing more males now becoming more feminine, reacting and killing people, because of their feelings. Feelings are not real. It's kind of like the concept of fear and danger. Danger is real, fear is not. Because fear is something that you feel. It might not happen. Danger, on the other hand, is a real thing that you can quantify. It's the same thing with these people. Go ahead, Hazel.
I'm sorry, honey. I think that in certain cases, men are more logical than women, and I think in other cases, women tend to be the more logical people. Um, I have to agree with Denise, and it's not just because we're both women, but statistics show about the crimes, who's committing most of the crimes when you're comparing men and women. And they're coming out eventually. I mean, we just did this in New York, where it was over some cold French fries, and the man decided to shoot the cashier because his mother was cold French fries. She was very upset. And he chose.
You're becoming a little robotic, Hazel.
Well, she's
Was
driving,
that?
so maybe.
Yes, I'm driving. Yes, they said I was driving. I'm so sorry. You know what it is? I have 2 cars. I have 3 cars, but my husband has 1. So now I'm responsible for driving with both. If I don't, batteries die. These cars, you drive them, otherwise they die on you. I'm sorry. I should have did this earlier, really.
No,
Can you hear me now?
Okay. We just
Yeah, we
lost
can.
K
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh
we
boy. Okay, so what I was saying was the man who shot the McDonald's worker over cold French fries. His mother got cold French fries, and the girlfriend handed him the gun supposedly. So I guess so. She handed it to me, so let me do that. And then he shot the cashier at the McDonald's over cold French fries. And he was also implicated in another murder back from 2020. So it I guess it depends on the topic. Now I want to go back to something that the 18 letter said. He said, "Oh, women are not stopped now from having businesses, even though they were before. We didn't have rights, but women now own the majority of the small businesses. We don't have the power. We don't have the finances to have these big, multi-billion-dollar corporations. But we are taking over the small business. And I don't think that has anything to do with their logic. I don't think it has anything to do with logic. I just think that's how it was. We live in a patriarchy. They had the rights to own all these things. You know what I'm saying? And now women are slowly being able to, start off small, and then, they couldn't have multiple businesses. It's just that women have not had these rights forever. I understand we have them now, but it hasn't been like we have the same opportunities as men to have these big, businesses. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll give you an example with me. There are times when I get overly emotional with my children, right? And I don't like certain behaviors towards my children. I don't like certain attitudes towards my children. My children are very sensitive, and if I see that you're hurting them or you're making them feel bad, I will get loud, and I'm the aggressive one, so my husband has to step in. And he's more
Yeah.
logical.
Yeah. Now, as far as Denise's point is concerned, let me just share with you. Now, late last year, we had a discussion regarding C-19, and Denise had a point, which was that the pandemic was over, and I respectfully disagreed. So what we did was we both shared data, we both share information, and I came to conclusion to the fact that COVID-19 is no longer a pandemic, but it is a health crisis. But yet I was able to acknowledge that. Okay, anyone that's reasonably mature can can accept the fact that if the other person makes a more stronger argument, they can accept it and keep it going. Emotional people are not able to do that. Denise, would you like to respond?
Yeah, it's basically, what I was explaining. It's just, it's so weird because unfortunately it's becoming our new normal, and the problem, it's becoming our new normal, not because the majority of people are like that. It's becoming our new normal because the internet, it's creating this inflammatory image of society, you know, where you
Mm-hmm.
can become several people at the same time to go and comment the same thing from different bank accounts on one person, and that person can feel that it's 20 people that feel the same way. So to that person, we right now don't even know what's out there in the world unless we see the facts. That's why I said it's not only here, but when you see the things like what Hazel commented, this dude that literally went and killed, and well, attempted to kill,
No,
because that
he
young
shot
boy.
the piece. He shot the person. Yeah.
Come again?
I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm having again. Hold on. Let me pull over.
uh,
he
okay.
shot the. He shot the. He shot the young man. They're both young. The shooter is 20, and the and the
And
and
then
the, and
the other
the,
is
the
23.
employee is 22. Well, 22
So,
or something like that, right?
yeah,
Yeah. He
and
shot the person. The person. He's not
he's
dead,
still at
but
the hospital. Yeah, but
he's
but
still in
he's
the
barely
hospital.
hanging in there. He's still hanging in there. I mean, we don't know if he's gonna make it.
Right. That's right. Also, the man who did the shooting, the gun that he used was tied to another murder from 2020. Another
Yeah,
20-year-old man was murdered with that same gun.
he has been arrested 13 times. Do you know that?
Really?
What?
I'm not even joking.
What?
He has been. I was trying
13
to.
times?
Yes,
Okay,
I
but
was
what's
trying
Oh,
going
to
on?
research that.
Okay, okay, but what's going on that that he's a lot that this person's about to be arrested 13 times? I mean,
I don't know, but he was with his mother, and his mother caught a fit over some cold fries, and the girlfriend handed him the weapon. They arrested the girlfriend too for giving him the weapon.
Yeah.
I don't
What,
know what's going on.
look, what's going on is that the injustice system that we have doesn't understand crime. And what they do is that they release these people because right now you got to prove that defunding the police was a bad idea. So let's keep putting violent criminals out there so they can wreak havoc. I've spoken about this before. It's kind of like a sabotage to what we all know it's true. We know that we have a sector of police that's brutal maniacs. You don't need to be a rocket science to know that.
okay,
We've seen it. Just today, four cops got indicted on by the feds because they actually did lied in order to go and kill Miss Breonna Taylor, a 27-year-old
Wow.
poor girl that was an EMT working to become more successful in her life. She'll never marry. She'll never have babies. She'll never get to be old because these people thought that her life was worth nothing.
okay.
So
Excuse
Right.
me.
basically,
I'm
yeah, go ahead, Jose.
I'm sorry. I just want to acknowledge the presence of Art Not So TV. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much
Hi,
for
Art.
entering your comments in it.
Hi.
I'm sorry. Please continue, Denise. I'm sorry.
So yeah, it's basically the fact that we're seeing this sabotage happen in front of us right now, and no one is saying anything. This sabotage is happening on purpose, because both of these parties are working the same way. They need evidence to tell us. We need, you see why we need more to militarize the cops, because the cops will keep people at bay, will keep the funneling more people into the mass incarceration system that we know is modern slavery. We know that this is a fact, but they
Okay.
need the data in order to discredit the public. And how do you do that? We're here in California, like I've stated before. We just got 70,000 violent criminals being released by our governor. And our DA isn't prosecuting people that steal up to $900. Why are you trying to do that when you know that you took away some money? And let me say something even further. People here in California, I am so sorry, but a lot of people don't read. The police never got defunded. Okay, they got defunded initially, but then if you look at the papers and the COVID relief, they got refunded through COVID relief.
Oh, wow.
So that is a lie. When they say, oh, the police was defunded, that is a lie. And
Do
it
you
has been
know?
debunked.
Do you know that in New York there was a mass exit of 500 police officers and detectives within the last 3 months?
How much was it?
Mass 500, at least 500. This was on CNN, New York News, everything. I think last week, but it could have been earlier this week, that it's too dangerous for them, and that they have retired. Some of them have retired, or some of them quit. And a lot of detectives. That's another thing.
Yeah, because two things. The judicial system is not backing up cases that they should. And second, because you have the brutal maniac police officers quitting because they cannot brutalize people no more.
I figured that too. I was going to ask you your opinion. Do you think that it's the bad ones? Do you think that it was them, that they are no longer going to be able to get away with certain behaviors? Do you think the bad ones are quitting? Because I had a feeling the same thing.
It's a mix of both. It's a mix of the ones that are frustrated because their profession has become harder.
Right.
And it's not worth it. But then you have the brutal maniacs that are like, we can't brutalize people without going to jail no more. So of course we're going to quit. And for the people that are like, oh, we should not scrutinize police, I believe we should scrutinize police because they are the only people that live among civilians that are literally granted, even in the most scrutinized states, they're granted not only immunity, they're granted a gun that can take your life. So because of that, you should scrutinize police. If they didn't want a scrutiny, then they should have done their job well. Just imagine for a second. Let's do a comparison. Let's say that I am a doctor and my job is to save lives, just like a cop. But then some days, some of us at the hospital drop the ball and people die where they could have been saved. Should we get fired? Should we get scrutinized?
Yeah.
And now let's move it to a different one. Let's say that we're a bunch of pilots and our job is to drive people safely in the sky to their destination. But then some of us feel like sometimes we drop the ball and we crash planes.
Yeah.
Should we get fired for thinking like that? Should
You
we
get
get
in trouble,
scrutinized?
Yeah.
You see my point? So why should we not do that to police officers that have such a huge responsibility?
They a lot of these other professions, even the firefighters, they're held accountable when they do wrong. The doctors, the nurses, they have to have malpractice insurance. The police officers, they don't have that type of responsibility. So maybe it's time. It's
time to remove the qualified immunity. I am so sorry. It's time to remove it because behind it, a lot of people hide behind it. A lot of these people hide behind that badge to do
I felt threatened for my
acts.
life. Yeah, they use I'm threatened for my. I feel scared, and you know what? The good cop, the ones that actually love their job, they go there because they love it. This has been a dream for them. Remember the 2 Dominican officers that were murdered in New York. They were slaughtered, really.
Serpico. Look at Serpico. He loved his job.
Yeah. And what happened? They were killed, senselessly. Oh, the man who killed the 2 Dominican officers, and in Harlem over there, the perpetrator was just released from Chicago. His mother took him in, and his mother was a correctional officer.
Wow. And you know what's crazy? Good cops like Serpico, he can, if you don't believe that this is something that happens, go listen to his reason, not back in the 80s and the 70s when he was a cop and dirty cops try to kill him.
Oh my
He
God.
survived it. That's what happened to Serpico. For the people that don't know, Serpico was a great cop. Everybody loved that cop in New York.
Okay, I have to do
He
my
was
research
gunned
on
down. It was gunned down by dirty cops that try to kill him. So he has explained countless times today that police departments hire him so that he can teach them integrity to the cops and how to serve the public. And he was invited, I think 3 to 4 years ago, to commemorate the top 10 police officers in the nation. That means from different states. And he said that every single one of them, as they came up to receive their medal, told him, we got to talk.
Wow.
Every single one of them. So are we making this up? I don't think so. There's great cops in those departments
Oh
that
yeah.
are also fed up. So like I said, it's a mix. The ones that are fed up of the shit they see, and the ones that are just dirty. And they exist. Just like if you work at a fast food, there's always a lazy coworker. If you work in an office, there's always a mediocre one. There's bad coworkers everywhere you go. How come they're not in the police department? Come on.
Right.
Excuse me, ladies,
Mm-hmm.
but when you think about the men and women that serve in the military, okay,
Mm-hmm.
now there is, if anyone is accused of any wrong activity, they're going, they're going to face, you know, a trial, and there is a military code of conduct, and then if they're found guilty, they're going to spend time in prison. If we can, if people who decided to serve our country and and defend our rights and privileges, if we can closely scrutinize them and make sure that they're actually conducting themselves in a proper manner, then the police, which is like another type of military, should be under the same scrutiny.
Mm-hmm. Resource officers in schools, a lot of them they're very wonderful. You know,
Yeah.
they actually love the children that they sent there to protect. You know,
Mhm.
It's like I said, we
and
have
they
good and
should
the
be
bad.
rewarded.
Yeah,
What was
we
that?
have the good and the bad, because look at the lazy coward ones that led 19 kids to die.
Oh
You see
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? You have the great ones and you have the shitty ones.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you make a good point there.
You know, so
Make a
why
good point
I
there.
highly doubt that the great cops want to share a badge with this nonsense. I highly doubt that.
Right.
I highly doubt that they're also tired.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's just I think it just depends on the person, their mental stability, who's more logical and who's more emotional. You
Yeah.
know, you see that a lot of men are not logical.
Yeah.
You know, you see them committing a lot of violence and aggression. Just I don't know if they're not taught how to deal with their emotions. A lot of them are not seeking therapy. A lot of women are not seeking therapy either. But you see the young kids, they jumped the turnstile in New York 2 weeks ago, and they beat up the cop. When the cops tell them to leave, they beat up the cops. And it was a girl that was there too, beating up the cops at the same time. So uh
Okay.
I don't know. There needs to be some outreach or something to get both genders
Yeah. But
to tap into
yeah.
their emotions and be logical.
Yeah. Well, and now I've seen Denise on multiple occasions where dealing with people who are emotional and not arguing with logic. And Denise have always managed to maintain herself with poise and dignity and just stick with the facts. Now, I happen to recall a debate that Denise had last year with an individual called Chi, where he tried to question Denise regarding who she is. And he demanded that she produce proof. However, a- as the debate continued, Chidi started to lose it. Then he got emotional, and then he lost it completely. Denise, do you recall that debate?
Yeah, it because it's the repetition. You know, when people demand, oh, prove to me that you are doing this, prove to me that you, I'm like, why? That's one route you don't want to go down with me, you know,
No.
because from day one I've never hide myself or hidden myself behind an avatar or a symbol. People have always been able to see my face and hear my voice, and I've even come up several times so people know you're talking to me, and this is the same person I am. Jose, you know me behind the scenes. I'm the same person here, I'm the same person behind the scenes, I'm the same person at home, I'm the same person everywhere. But these people, it's always the
Yes.
same. I feel like I'm always debating the same person. They always go with their illogical points. You debate them on those points and show them, no, you know, this is how things really are, and this is the perspective that, you know, I stand behind, and these are the facts that sustain what I'm talking about. And then when you prove that to them, they get upset. So they start with the proof to me that that's true, proof to me that this, proof to me that you're really this person, proof to me, like that dude. When I told him, I mean, I have friends from Loiza. To me, we all know Loiza is like a very sacred area that was like the first land for, like, you know, where black folks establish themselves, and it's a place that we visit often. Piñones is very close there, you know. So again, when you corner him into that, I'm like, this is the sentiment of my people. I lived there 25 years. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and this is the sentiment of my people. I come also from a black man, a black family. There's black people in my family, left and right. I'm also Afro Latina, even though I'm on the lighter side. When you prove that to him, then that's when he starts getting offended. Oh, then
Yeah.
speak to me in Spanish. I don't have to. I'm telling you, why is it that your word, I have to take your word as truth, but you can't take mine? You see, that's where I'm troubled.
Yeah. This is a
Yes.
person that says stay out of black people's business, but he always finds himself in Latin people's business. Oh, but his excuse is
And
that
not
he lived in Puerto Rico for a certain amount of time and he learned the language. You could learn the language here.
It doesn't
yeah,
sound to me like his accent does not sound to me like he's even who he claims he is. And I'm
Right.
just
You know,
playing that out there.
his Spanish was like Don Armando, to be honest with you. His Spanish was just like that.
I
Very
think his Spanish
gringoish.
is is even worse than that.
His what? His Spanish is what?
question.
Hello?
Question, ladies. Question: Whose Spanish is worse, mine or his?
His, definitely. But they're
I can't.
close.
I'm sorry. Can somebody repeat it? I didn't hear the last thing that Denise said. Denise said something, and then I hear a little bit of Theo Jose.
Oh, he said you said that his Spanish is like Don Armando's, and I said it's worse.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and
And then
and
what
then
did
and
Theo
then
Jose say? Uh-huh.
I said, whose Spanish is worse, Magnesi or my Spanish?
Yours. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Ah,
I'm just joking. His, because it's very slow. It's slow. It's like mine.
Okay.
English is my first language. It's like mine too. Mine is
Now,
horrible.
like I said before, I speak Spanish like a gringo. The difference is, at least I can maintain an intelligent conversation, and for the most part, people understand me.
Yeah.
that's the important part. In his case,
Right.
he sounds like Zacharias is taking his meds.
Zacharias
Yeah,
was there earlier. Zacharias was there. He was there when he was trying to explain
it's
something.
look, these topics are a magnet for weirdos.
Hmm.
You know,
And
and
I.
I love the fact that he went up there, because
Hmm.
this is what radical has been talking about. You know, that these
Right.
people are actually, they're spewing an anti-Latino sentiment. I don't know if you guys
Right.
catch how he kept moving the goalpost when he was the
Yes.
first. trying to
Yes.
tokenize Puerto Rican, saying, and that was my whole questioning. My whole line of questioning was because he was like, Puerto Ricans don't have that dynamic in the East. It's only in the West. So he
That
already
is
made
not
a
true.
separation. And I said, okay,
That's
fine.
not true. He tried to blame it on the Dominicans. Are you kidding me?
No, he tried to blame it on the Mexicans first.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I said, okay, fine. I get it. Yeah, for the most part, we do get along a lot with African Americans. I'm not gonna lie, we do. Now,
Mm-hmm.
my thing is, fine. If we are out of the Latinos, we're the ones that get along the most with ADOS. But then on the other hand, he wanted to play the victim and say that he was victimized for his race and PR. So I
Right.
asked him a very valid question. I told him, okay, then I want you to explain to me, since you say you have traveled and you're a well-traveled person and you know a lot about my culture better than me. I want you to tell me, what is the mutation that happens from a Puerto Rican in the island that, according to you, is taught racism. We're taught an anti-Black sentiment. How is it that we mutate into becoming
I heard you
lovers
say
of
that.
Black people?
And he
And
got very angry. He flew
he got
off the handle.
upset because he
He
could
got
not
upset.
answer. He tapped.
He said something about Puerto Ricans are the original blacks. That sounds Hotep Israel. He is Israel Hebrew like crap.
He
They were
sounds like
the original
everything but,
blacks.
yeah, he sounds like everything but what he claims he is. That's what I'm like,
Right.
look, what I know ADOS people that have traveled to the island, and the least thing that they get asked is if they're Haitian.
Yeah.
They get, because they have gringo names. Let's keep it real. So we asked them, are you gringo?
Right.
You get my point? I
I
come on.
believe you.
I was
I believe you.
educated in private school. We have gringos that were black and white, and we knew they were gringos, and we will ask them, what part of the US are your people from?
My husband went to Puerto Rico. His job used to send him a long time ago. He was part of this group of workers that used to buy auto parts for New York City transportation. He said that he used to go to Puerto Rico and they never spoke to him in English. They always spoke to him in Spanish first because this is something
Assume.
normal. It's normal. You cannot
Yeah.
assume that this is somebody that's American.
Exactly. It's kind of like what my husband had the same experience. He's African American, and he went to PR, and he was, at some point he was like, I have to keep explaining myself that I'm not
Exactly.
from here, because he doesn't speak Spanish.
Right.
And we weren't in touristic areas. We were, for the most part, in like where I grew up and Ceiba and other places. So of course it was the actual people from the island. So they didn't not all of them knew English. So they couldn't communicate with him, but they assumed he was Rican.
Right.
You know, because
Because that's normal to see them there. You always gonna have colorists. You always gonna have colorists. But it's not uncommon to see someone like them coming over here. You know, I mean, going over there. I'm so sorry because my auntie
there's a large Black population in PR.
Right, and they've always been there.
Yeah, because of course we had African slaves. They're Puerto Ricans too. So at the end of the day, like I said, we don't do these things because Puerto Ricans are one of the most mixed people in the Latin spectrum.
Right.
We have way too many cultures mixed with us, and we have no room in being that, because even when we give birth, our babies are we don't only go through a gender reveal, we go through a looks reveal.
I wonder if Cynthia G would have been happy with him saying that we were the original blacks. I don't think she would like that. Oh, she would have a whole segment on that for 3 days.
Oh my!
Because that's what he said. I don't know if you caught that. That's what he said.
No, I didn't. I was like, this is the problem with people when they research Puerto Rican culture in Google.
Yeah, and then they said we didn't contribute anything, and we didn't suffer any racism. But you literally see signs back from the 1950s saying no N-words, no Mexicans, no Puerto Ricans, Porter, Ricans, and no dogs.
Not only that, let's go even further because history is my thing. Jose knows this.
Uh-huh.
If you go back to the Albizu era from the 40s all the way to the 60s when he passed away after being tortured, by the way, he will tell you that when the World War II happened and World War One happened, we sent more people from the island to war, more soldiers than the state of New York.
And I believe that, just like they were
That's
Puerto Rican
history.
Navy men sent to Tuskegee.
That
Puerto
is
Rican
literally,
airmen were sent there to help train. Do you know that? You know that. I'm pretty sure you know that.
I did not know that.
Yes, the Puerto Rican Air Force went to Tuskegee and helped train with that whole air flight military. That is a known fact. So
in
to
many
say that we
things,
didn't,
it's like, oh, we did all that. No, sir. I mean, I'm not trying to take from their plight, but I don't like to do this. You didn't contribute shit, or let me tell you something. This is an immigrant country. Everyone contributed. The problem is, I get that ADOS contributed to forced labor. Look,
yes,
that is different.
yes,
Okay, 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 okay. Let me explain.
He's a colonizer, though. He's a colonizer, though,
this.
because he's white, Denise. He's a colonizer, though, because he's
white.
Yeah.
Okay, Jose, go ahead.
Well, okay, the reason why I'm showing this flag, it was at one time a crime simply to have it. And Denise, you know it's true.
Yeah, the God law of 1940s.
If you was caught with this flag, you will go to prison
for 10 years. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, that's the reason why every now and then I show this flag, because it's a reminder to some of my fellow New Ricans and some of them that kind of brain damage, that simply to have this flag, you will go to prison for 10 years.
It's a privilege to have it now.
Exactly. So you should for every Norican, Florida Rican, Ohio Rican, and everyone in return, they should have at least one Puerto Rican flag, because it is a symbol of what we have to go through, and the symbol that this was once a crime just to have this flag.
That's right. That's right. Over here in Florida, there's a place called Ponciana. Nothing but Puerto Rican. It's literally 95% Puerto Rican. And everybody has a flag in the garage. Big flag. Next to the TV and the refrigerator and the freezer and you got to see it. They have these fireside type of things where it's in the garage, but when they want to cook, they pull it out. You know, like the old time cooking on the fireside. And that goes on here. Well, I wanted to say too that we don't celebrate Christopher Columbus Day here in Florida, because first of all, you cannot discover anything where there was people here already. But it was not colonized by Christopher Columbus or the Americans. It was colonized by who?
Spain.
Yeah, but Ponce de Leon was already the governor of Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. That's how Puerto Ricans were coming here. There was also Cubans coming here. Before all of this passport stuff, and you had to get some type of picture and green cards, all of that, they were coming back and forth with their slaves. Because Ponce de Leon thought he settled in America. He did not. He settled in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Then he realized he was not there. So then he voyaged on further, and that's how he landed in Florida.
Yeah.
So we don't have Christopher Columbus Day here. We for those who think that Puerto Ricans are coming here to this country and taking No. Yes, there was mass immigration of them in the 1940s in New York. But the Cubans and Puerto Ricans have been here, and they've been in Florida. This is where they first were, because Spain controlled Florida. It was conquered for Florida. I mean, for Spain. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So,
But you know something, ladies? You made your cyber father very proud of you today. Both of you.
well, thank you.
Thank you, Jose.
And it was an honor to talk to the both of you. Denise, I'm very sorry. I was very upset. I was livid
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
disrespect
I
today.
bet. Yeah, he. Oh my God, he is. And I, like I said, it's just it goes to show the hypocrisy, and that's what I wanted to do. I honestly went up there for that same reason, because it's very easy to go somewhere and be unchallenged and talk shit about Puerto Rican. Don't talk about Puerto Rican people
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
you are not able, because this is what I see. You're not able to respect us, but you have the audacity to llenarte la boca and talk
Mhm.
about us.
Yeah.
Don't use us for when it's convenient. He was
Yeah.
tokenizing us for when it was
Oh yeah.
convenient for his narrative. But then when it wasn't convenient, when he wanted to show that we're racist, sh- look at how he used us on the speaking from both sides of his neck,
Yeah.
right?
I
Saying
saw
that
it.
we were not racist, but we were racist to him.
To him because of one bad experience of one person, and that's
That
why I went up.
that's the thing. No one else that's African American that has visited the island can say that they had that experience. I've never met anyone in real life that can name me a racist experience in PR.
Right.
Never,
And
because they don't get labeled
Hmm.
as even outsiders. People look at them and think that they assume that they're Boricua.
right. Right. Also, that's why I had to go up there and say, hold on a minute. This beef animosity thing that you're saying between Latinos and blacks is in the West Coast. I have to give you a personal experience. Ida Rodriguez is also another one. I didn't mention this, but Ida Rodriguez, the comedian, is another one who had a similar experience where she was told that, if you were still a slave, you would be in the house. You'll be a house slave because of your skin, your hair, and all of that. You think you cute because you have loose curls and stuff. And she said, "Hey, if I was in the house, I'd still be a slave. Slavery is horrible.
Yeah.
Slavery is slavery. I mean, one slavery isn't better than the other." But I had to say, look, I'm from New York. I was born and raised, and this is what happened to me. I'm minding my business. No one has a right to touch me. Even if I say, get the hell out of my face, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. You don't have right to touch me. And I had that experience. I had with grown adults telling me at the age of 17 um, that, I think I'm white and I think I'm better than everybody. Don't come around here and talk to me. I don't want to see you. I don't like you Latinos because you think you better. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That's what they used to say to me.
Hmm.
And I'm not even bothering
Well,
them. These things
well,
happen, but I
remember
can't
some.
blame all black people for that experience.
Well, remember, ladies. Someone said I was racist.
I know.
Yeah, yeah, we're all racist at this point.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
person thinks that all mulattoes are trying to breed them out. That somehow we are taking over, and this is a conspiracy to breed them out. That's what that person
No,
was saying today.
it's so weird. We're all racist now. We are hateful people. We're horrible people. And this is exactly what I was saying on a stream before, on a comment section, that someone was like, "How does this FBA thing translate and affect us Latino?" I'm like, because this is the agenda that gets put on mainstream at some point. And if we don't reclaim our ethnic image, and that's what he didn't understood that concept of if you mess with one bean, you mess with the whole burrito, is because
Yeah.
we're never going to allow you to disrespect and attack any Latino in our presence, because our ethnic image is something we defend,
Right.
you know.
Yeah,
So
and
it's something that unfortunately we have people here, American people, and I'm not saying they're only black, because white people do the same thing. They allow their ethnic image to be trashed, but it's because of the division that exists within the American peasantry.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us
um,
partake on that too sometimes, but for the most part, you mess with one of us, all of us are coming after you. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
um, yeah, that is true because when I was attacked by a certain individual, Denise happened to jump in,
Yeah.
which is
And I
which
say,
proves.
and yeah, and I say all the time, you're New Yorican and I'm Puerto Rican. I'm an islander, you're a mainlander.
Right.
That's a healthy division. But that doesn't mean that I'm just gonna stand by and let someone disrespect another Latino in my
Absolutely.
presence.
Absolutely.
That's
And
never
that's what
gonna
I
fly.
was trying to stop. That's what I was trying to stop because poor radical Latino is being over here overspoken.
Yeah.
And it's already he brought that person up there. You understand? And I think that was absolutely wrong. He already showed his ass already about prior, months prior. All right. Or he may have done that a few times already. I don't know why you keep bringing up somebody like that. Anyway. But
He has
now it
done
is
that
that
before.
this is a woman by herself. This is a woman by herself, and this man is over talking her. You can't even stop him from over talking because your voice is not loud enough. And now I can't get on there, and I was fuming. I
Yeah,
was fuming.
it's the same. It's the same rhetoric that we were talking about. We have different backgrounds, even though we come from the same ethnic image.
Yeah,
But again, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. It's the same.
there you
It's the
go.
same thing.
It's
You
the
know, so
same.
it's kind of because look,
Yeah.
even the situation with American Cholo, with the whole Tiger situation with Jose Alba, that's not Jose Alba is a Dominican man.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we all came to side with him? He's right. I don't care
Yeah.
who gets offended. That man defended himself and he's entitled to defend his life.
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay?
yeah.
Hmm.
Make
He's
no mistake.
65, and the man who assaulted him was a younger
Was
man
30,
with a big
31.
person.
Was it 31?
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't care. And in our within our house, yeah, there's animosity among Ricans and Dominicans, but that doesn't mean that we're gonna allow people from a different collective to kind of say that what Jose Alba did was a racist move, because that's disingenuous.
Yeah, that wasn't racist. There was no race. There was no racism in that. Unless you heard something on the camera that we didn't hear. I saw a 65-year-old man be shoved. Okay, you've seen what happens when you shove a elderly person hard enough, in other news situations, the elderly person falls and severely hurts himself or even dies. This man was a 65-year-old man doing his job, and
Yeah.
someone else decided by the what, the directive of a woman, to go and assault a 60-something-year-old man over a $25 bag of chips. EBT card declined. Okay, he didn't have 25 cents. He didn't have a dollar. He didn't have a debit card. He chose to shove a 65-year-old man. And then when the man tried to get away, what did you see? Him yoke him up by the neck, right? He
Yeah.
didn't let that man escape. So he took the knife and he did what he did. I don't think it was to kill. I think he stabbed wherever he can stab, and unfortunately, he died.
Hmm.
Yeah. And,
But
and and you know what's crazy? You will ask these people, if it's something I ask another people, if I go get my husband to manhandle you like that, mind you, my husband works out really hard.
mhm,
If I call him to manhandle you like that and use all his boxing and MMA training on you, would you just let him get away with it until he's not no longer angry?
No.
Because and they will tell you just to win the argument. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have done that. But I'm like, the fact that you get emotional and insult people here for words that you disagree with tells us that in a real man-to-man fight, you will just try to preserve your life. You'll go to any length using deadly force. Let's keep it 100.
Yeah.
Ladies,
Yeah.
if we can just change the subject slightly. Now, I see that
Yeah.
Brittany Griner was found guilty of all of the charges in Russia. Am I correct?
Yeah. 9 years is
Okay.
excessive. That's
Okay.
harsh.
Well, okay. You know, I have only this to say regarding her. До свидания. Goodbye.
Hmm.
Because okay, you know what?
Be
I'm gonna tell
proud
you
to be
why.
American. Be proud to be American. You live in the
Okay.
most
Oh,
privileged country.
okay. But okay. Before you crucify me, hear me out. Okay. You go to another country. Okay. Whatever country, Russia, the DR, Europe, any country. Okay. If you decide to do something illegal and you get arrested and then you're found guilty and then and then you have to go to prison, so be it. When a person from another country comes to the United States and is accused of committing a crime, they have a trial and they
Yeah.
found guilty. Just that person needs to spend time in prison. Maybe if more people were found guilty and get sentenced, maybe more people would think twice before going to other countries and do stupid stuff. Now, I happen to been privileged to visit 6 countries. You
Hmm.
know what I do before I go visit a country? I try
Research
to
the language.
familiarize with what are the customs and the laws over there. Why?
But she
Because
knew. It's under. She knew. They said that she knew that her people told her not to, and she still did it.
But you know what's
okay,
insane? You know what's insane?
Hmm.
I find it's such a hypocritical thing because I've researched this stuff. Like I said, we have the most powerful tool in our hands. To the people
Hmm.
that don't understand this today, I don't know what to tell them. We want to say that Russia has her incarcerated wrongly, that is excessive, and I get that it is. Okay, I'm not against that. To be in jail for a decade for a plant is retarded.
Oh yeah.
That, let's just put that right at the back. I don't care which country we're talking about.
That's the only
mhm,
To
thing. That's the
be
only thing I think
to be
that is wrong.
incarcerated for a plant for a decade or 2 or 3 is retarded.
I agree with that.
Now, I want to say she knew the law. I don't see why we should risk to literally hand over the merchant of death that had put guns and special weapons in the hands of terrorists that are targeting American Air Force pilots, because that's why they actually put him in jail, in
Hmm.
prison. That's the reason why. I don't see why we should exchange him for a weed smoking ball player when America, as if that's so bad, when America today has 40,000 inmates serving almost 2 decades for marijuana. 40,000. Let that number sink in. We have 40,000 people today serving time for marijuana.
I agree with you, Denise. I agree.
So that's
That's
a double
logical.
standard.
That's logical. That's
Yeah.
logical, right?
If
okay,
we're gonna
but
go to those lengths to release Brittany Griner, fine. But then the 40K people that we have here behind bars needs to be set free because we're a draconian country as well. We're
What
putting
about
someone.
the military man in that's been since 2018 in Russia on espionage?
No, he
There's a
doesn't know.
vet. You know about
But you
that
gotta
guy?
understand, he doesn't know how to shoot a ball in a professional manner into a net. That's the logic.
But that's the crazy thing. I mean, if this person was not able to dribble a ball and shoot it into a net, there wouldn't be no discussion about whether or not she should be set free or whatever. We will all be saying, "That's Vidania." That's it.
Yeah,
And for those
we
who
will
don't know
not
what
even
tricking
know.
means, goodbye.
We would not even know. We would not even know, you know? But the thing is that she knows how to.
Hmm.
She knows
Well,
how to, so we must save her. And again, my recommendation is Brittany, try to break out like the guy from the Midnight Express and make it to Poland, and we'll get you from there.
Uh,
Because it's
you know what?
stupid
well,
that you're
she'll feel
incarcerated
like
for a plan.
I'm pretty sure she's feeling what oppression really is like because according to her, this is a very oppressive, racist country. I think that's very oppressive where she's at right now.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
my okay. My advice will be the following: learn Russian, learn how to eat borscht, and then serve as a lesson to all the morons that think they can go to other countries and not observe the laws over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
but I do
okay.
feel sorry for the 9 years. I do feel bad for the 9 years. That's a long time.
Okay, but you know what? We
Well,
okay. We can okay.
40,000 people are serving again.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
40,000 people. It's like I said, America doesn't have the morale to condemn anyone. We're talking about Russia is so evil. They don't have proper health for women in labor. And the 7,000 women that die here giving birth
That yeah, there you go. There
every
you go. And
year.
the ones that you don't want to give them help when they can't afford the formula. What
Yeah.
happened? You don't want to help them get jobs so they stay off of welfare. You don't want to. You don't care about the babies that are here alive and that they're hungry. Their parents are working, but they don't make enough.
Yeah, it's like I said,
Uh,
Americans are tired of working for peanuts, and they've been telling you that you don't listen. So I don't understand.
ladies, let this sink in.
Yeah.
In New York City, we have municipal employees living in shelters.
Wow.
Wow.
Think about it. We're talking about people who managed to get a job working for the city of New York,
Hmm.
and many of them dealing with other people in
With home.
need,
Yeah.
and yet they're homeless.
Yeah.
So just let that sink in.
That's backwards. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but boy, again, we're a progressive nation. We're the richest country in the world. We are the, you know what I'm saying? You get the hypocrisy?
Yeah, no
Yes,
sarcasm.
You know, you
and yeah,
know,
yes,
it's like
yes,
we're
and
the
here,
best. Russians are bad. Look at how horrible they are incarcerating that woman for something that's legal out here because it's medicinal. You got 40,000 people, and Kamala was just laughing when she was asked if she smoked marijuana because she kept the marijuana incarcerated folk as cheap labor for the state, even though marijuana has been legal in California since 1996. She just wanted to keep them there because they were cheap labor for the state.
Oh
And
my
she just
God.
tackled on national TV. She should be prosecuted. She should be scared
And
shitless.
she became a senator. Wow. And
And
the Obama praised this lady left and right.
yeah, and people say, vote for her. You have two people that are pro oppression, pro mass incarceration, which is modern slavery, running the
Hmm.
country. Kamala's a
Yeah,
cop.
I know.
But no one says anything. But oh, don't let Brittany Griner be incarcerated in ugly Russia. That
Hmm.
immediately they become draconian, and like we have the morale to say something. Come
But
on,
don't
it's
they
not
have
in there.
Mr. Snowden? Don't they have Edward Snowden in there protecting him? Don't they protect Edward Snowden or something like that?
Yeah, and not only that, they have had soldier Peelan, I think, for a while
Mhm.
now. I
Yeah,
believe
that's
he's
what he's
about to get
talking about.
exchanged. Yeah, he's about to get exchanged as well with Britney.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's been there since
Denise,
2018, right?
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
ladies,
Yeah.
you know what? You know what's the problem with that? Now, Denise, would you like to have the honors of saying it, or would you prefer I say it?
You say it. You say it better.
It makes too much sense.
Oh
I'm,
man.
But guys, I'm
but
gonna head out. I'm gonna head out. It was a pleasure. Jose, thank you for having
Well,
me here. Hazel,
well,
thank you
well,
for the exchange. I loved it.
you're
yeah, well,
welcome.
Uh,
I love you.
thank you,
Thanks for the
well,
conversation.
love you too. I'll send you a
thank you
big
very
hug.
much, yeah, thank you very much, and please, ladies, if you have any suggestions for me to discuss how that's pregnant for ladies, please hit me up in my IG.
Right,
No
no
problem.
problem.
No problem. Take care. Bye, guys.
Take care. Good night,
Bye.
lovelies.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye bye.
So what we're going to do, Hazel, we're gonna wrap this up. First of all, okay. Well, we're gonna go to. Okay, let's see. Wait a minute. Oh,
Something. What was it? I'm sorry. You were saying something. What was it? You said my name and I logged out.
okay.
I'm so sorry.
So what we're gonna do, it's okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to wrap this up. Now, first of all, I appreciate the fact that tonight's panel was mostly female. Okay, this is a real treat for me because it's not every day we get to hear from the ladies. And this whole
Right.
purpose of the season is to try to get more of the ladies' input. So I'm going to let Hazel give her final remarks.
Oh, okay, okay. When it comes to the topic, are men more logical than women? Are women more logical than men? I would say it depends on the topic. In some
Yeah.
cases, men are more logical. In some cases, women are. But at the end of the day, it would be nice if people learn how to control their emotions, because emotion is a feeling. You cannot express your emotions when you are trying to be logical. Logic and emotion are two different things.
Yes. Well,
And I'm
first of all,
gonna
yes, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. You was gonna ask a question?
No, you was about to say something. Please continue.
Oh no, I was gonna bid everybody farewell and have a good night.
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much. If you want, we can continue the discussion in the backstage. If you have to go, I understand
Yeah, I
because
gotta go.
it's okay. Well, you know what? Thank you anyway, because I really do appreciate it. And like I said, you and Denise made your cyber father very proud. The way
And I
that you conduct.
appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
All right, so have a good night.
You too. Stay safe.
Thank you. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my final words. When it comes to the topic, who's more logical, males or females, um, I think Hazel said it very well. It depends on the situation. We have seen examples where both males and females can be very logical. And we also see examples where males and females can be very emotional. So it's one of those situations where there are different perspectives. But nevertheless, I do appreciate all the people who made their comments in the chat. I appreciate everyone who appears on the platform. So I just want to say thank you very much. Now, tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, I'm going to have open forum regarding my thoughts for the week. So it's going to be an opportunity for me to share my point of view. Now, if I do see there's a lot of activity in the chat, I will open it should anyone wishes to express their point of view. Now, I want to let everybody know that there's not going to be a call-in show Sunday. There's going to be a call-in show on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And the topic is going to be what women seek in a quality man. It's really my first, so I'm gonna. It's anyone, everyone is welcome to attend and enter their comments and what have you. But I really want the ladies also to express their point of view and to chime in as far as what they're looking for in a quality man, because there are different expectations. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an honest and frank discussion. I just want to say thank you very much for allowing me the privilege of coming into your homes, into your devices. And I'm going to ask, if you have not done so, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I prepare content, you will have the opportunity to either catch it live or catch it on the playback. That being said, also, anyone wishes to enter a comment after the stream is over, you may do so. Just keep it receptible, please. And I'm sure other people will catch it on the playback. So I just want to say thank you very much. And this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense. And before I go, I'm going to leave you with these words. Do not let the errors of the past damage your future. And we must do everything possible to minimize our contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. So I just want to say thank you very much. Good night and peace.
Be strong.